Welcome to the lighter side of the dark side. It's your weekly freak show here on Renegade Radio. Also, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, Apple, all your podcast channels. It's the Dark Mark Show. I'm Dark Mark, the goth comedian. Never looked better, right, Hannah?
Never looked better. Whose face are you wearing tonight, Mark?
I'm not sure whose face. This is the 30% off special at Halloween Town. Whoever's face that is. But this was Hannah's idea to make me look as repulsive as possible in front of beautiful. I'm here in the studio with three beautiful women and Pete, who ain't too shabby himself, and I look like this. Yes, I'm Dark Mark, the goth comedian. It's the Dark Mark Show. I'm going to swing this around and show you how to properly mix horror and beauty. Well, first off, X has popped by. She's been on the show before. I got to take this off. I'm sweating crazy. And then, see, that's how you mix horror and beauty. See, it's very subtle.
It's prom night.
It's prom night, and you got a paper cut because there's a little blood here and there, but it's not too much.
It was a lot before I left my house and it all started falling apart. I was supposed to be the next generation of you Leatherface and you attack the prom kids.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is?
The one with Matthew McConaughey, my favorite one.
Yeah, that's the best one. Anyway, that's Hannah Bach.
Hello.
Everybody's favorite vegan heavy metal DJ. And it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Halloween.
Yes, it is. So, how's Grandpa?
Grandpa's good. He liked our outfits. Her and I have never went to prom, so this is actually our prom night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You guys were the rebels. You're like, I'm too cool to go to prom.
Kind of.
Yeah. One of those things. Anyway, we've got one guest that was on before. Two people that I've been trying to get on the show for years. Cleve Hall, who will be here momentarily. You've never met him. I don't know how you missed him.
I've probably seen him out and about, Bar Sinister, possibly.
I would imagine, yeah. But he's coming, but also somebody I've been trying to get for years and years because she's so funny and she's got so much going on. And she's just, I dig hanging out with her. And for some reason, she looks a little nervous. I've never seen this before. That's IrinaXara right there.
Hi.
There's no reason to be nervous. We're just chilling and shoot the shit.
I'm super excited to be here, and my Halloween costume is somebody who rolled out of bed a few hours ago.
I thought you were going for Liza Minnelli. I didn't know what was going on here with the hair.
Sure.
We can
go with that.
Okay.
We can go with that.
No, I'm trying to think when. I know exactly. We're going to tell a story when I met you because it's a good one. But
I think I remember that story too.
It's very memorable. Goth clubs pop up in the strangest places.
Right.
But before we talk about that, and like I say, Cleve Hall, Monster Man. He's done everything from Pee-wee's Big Adventure to Jay and Silent Bob's reboots. He's going to be here. And so we talked about that on the last show. You should start listening to shows that you're not on. They're good.
I know.
Once in a while, they're good. Anyway, so
once in a while.
Before we get started, we have our sponsors, Audible, audibletrial.com/DMS. Once again, go to audibletrial.com/DMS. You get a free book and 2 Audible originals. You can get Alien 3, not the crappy movie, but they have Alien 3. William Gibson wrote a script. They never used it. They got Lance Henriksen, Michael Biehn, and a whole star cast to act it out. Wow. That's for free. And a book. And another Audible original. Bob Newhart interviewing other comics. John Lithgow doing a one-man show. You could whatever you want. They have Kate McKinnon does a Twisted Fairy Tale. It's great.
I like Twisted Fairy Tales.
Yes, and I like Kate McKinnon, so that works out fine. So go to Audible Trial. Now my hair's in my face. Hannah wants me with long hair. See, she wants everybody with long hair is what it is. So anyway, audibletrial.com/DMS. Probably there's books How to Grow Your Hair. So you might want to check that out. And Hannah, tell us about our other sponsor real quick.
Since
you haven't eaten in like 5 days.
Doomy's Home Cooking.
When was the last time you ate, Hannah? Seriously.
Literally, 5 days.
Yesterday.
Oh, okay, good. Because every now and then you skip a few days.
I do, every now and then.
And with no reason to do so. You should eat every day. So, Doomy's Home Cooking, great. When you're hungry now, you're thinking about Doomy's Home Cooking.
Always. We just went there last weekend.
I know.
We got the cake.
Didn't even invite me.
Jalapeno poppers. Well, we were it was like drunk munchies last minute.
Irene, have you ever been to Doomy's?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Are you vegan? I didn't even know.
I'm vegetarian, but I am a big connoisseur of vegan restaurants because we have so many wonderful ones in LA.
Yes.
So yeah, I've definitely been there quite a few times.
The fun fries.
Yes.
The jalapeno poppers. What'd you get?
Western
bacon cheeseburger. Yes.
Yeah, then we got the carrot cake, and then we tried the chicken drumsticks. They were so good.
Oh yeah,
really
with the
good.
stick and the drumstick. So
yeah, we did.
They sponsor our show. That's 1253 Vine Street, right on the corner of Fountain and Vine. If you're in Hollywood, if you're not in Hollywood and you're in Culver City, go to the Culver City location. They have brunch. They came out with a seafood plate. They got all sorts of stuff happening there.
They have a special Halloween burrito.
Oh, now you tell me what's in that.
It's like they fry it, and there's a bunch of like special spooky sauces on it.
Okay.
Yeah, just check out like their Instagram.
All right, and also there's a Doobie Some Cooking in Toronto, Canada. So.
And there's Express in Terrace City.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was Express now. Phil's always full of surprises.
Yes, he is.
Now, Irina, as I'm sure you've been researching, it's all sorts of things going on with her. She's a dancer. She's a dancer, but she's a mime. She's a comedian. She's a clown. She's a tarot card reader. She's a small business. Wow. She does all sorts of things. But I met this woman. There was a goth club at Indian restaurants in Hollywood one night. Yes,
that's a surprise.
I don't know how it was, and it was one of these things where I just saw, you know what? There's a goth club in an Indian restaurant. I have to check this out.
Right.
So I got there, and I was. When I've never seen it before or since.
Gotta go.
Depressing curry. It's really one of those things. And I said, I met Irene and her partner in crime and BFF. Although you guys will probably be BFFs. She becomes BFFs with everybody on the show. Carla Usagi,
yes.
and who's the reason that you're on the show this week. Is for some reason you after I asked you like 5 times, you're like, okay, now I want to be on the show. So I met the two of you when we were in trance, and we just talked about all sorts of things. We were just laughing all night.
Yes. Carla is a wonderful inspiration to me. She's basically a satirist. I would call her a satirist, which is really kind of a lost art these days, but she draws amazing web comics, and she in some ways she kind of does what you do. Like she really pokes fun at a lot of like the stereotypical people in the goth scene,
right?
And in a very compassionate way, but very much this year, like the gloves came off with a lot of that stuff, and I told her Savage Carla is best Carla.
Yes. Well, you've been known to be savage yourself. When you get the two of you, you're the savage one, really.
Oh yeah.
Especially now. I mean, we're all getting a little older, so there's a new crop of baby goths coming up.
Yeah, I think we've mellowed out a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, wait, okay, before I do this, can I cuss on this show?
You can cuss all you want, please.
Okay.
We encourage profanity.
Yeah, but no, I mean, yeah, you're right about that, but yeah, I think in as much as we're trying to usher the new crowd in, like our level of tolerance for the repetitive bullshit of some people who have been around for a while has probably gone down. So
yeah,
that's a big part of it.
Yeah. So so what's the problem with the baby goths? What's your biggest pet peeve with the baby goths?
I don't know that there's a big problem per se, because I'm feeling really positive about like how supportive they are and how much they understand kind of like giving visibility to a certain subculture. Like I think they've done a really good job of that, but I'm also hearing, especially from other people who have been in the scene for a long time, that people are just like showing up to clubs to take selfies for like half an hour and then leaving. Like they're not necessarily invested to the same level in goth as like a social scene. They're kind of just like putting a lot of it on social media, but not necessarily invested in the same way. So I think it depends on the person, but there's good new blood as well.
Because I know Hannah hates the young people that color the rainbow and The other place that
so
she goes, Bar
obnoxious.
Sinister.
Yeah.
Well, what's the problem with them?
They're just little,
they're always hitting on
annoying
you.
children. Yeah, they are. It's like I'm old enough to be like your mom if I was a naughty teenager, you know?
Yes.
So what?
Same.
It doesn't feel right. I have like a 21-year-old after me. I'm like, no, I'm 35.
Right, but then didn't we? We've been here for a year and a half doing the show, and I thought we got over that you can date younger men.
I can, but I don't want to. They're obnoxious.
Right.
Yeah.
See, Hannah's got a type, and it's like it's what you would call a Manther.
I'm laughing because I knew you were going to say that.
It's what you would call a Manther. This is what we were laughing about the first time I met you, and we laugh about every time we talk. It's the male equivalent of a cougar.
Yes. But a Manther.
But she likes the metal Manthers.
Metal Manther, okay.
Metal Manthers with the long hair, and they're still rocking
Bullet
the
belt, nice butt.
See, listen to this. But so the guy doing your tattoos, you're not really dating him.
No, it's strictly professional.
Okay.
I just Danny, he's cool. He's a friend.
Okay, but he still digs you.
No,
Okay.
no, he's banging some bartender.
But that doesn't mean he doesn't still dig you. It just
Hashtag Manther.
One has nothing to do.
Yeah.
This is one of the children. This is one of the guys in the 20s.
He's 24. Yeah.
I never got this, and I date older women. I date women from their 20s to their 60s. Yeah. And I don't care.
I was on a date with a 24, 25-year-old, and he was so obnoxious. I tried to get drunk so he wouldn't like me anymore. He just liked me more. I took off. I went upstairs and gave them my phone number to one of the security guards at the Rainbow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the date. Was the Rainbow?
Well, it was after. I didn't want to go there. He's like, let's just go there. So I like riled up all my gay friends, and I was like, meet me here. I'm going on a date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. I forgot your burlesque dancer as well.
Yes,
you're doing a lot of stuff. I was looking at all sorts of.
Yeah.
I was looking on your website, and there's a lot of things I didn't know. I didn't know you were a mime. That I did not know.
How did you get into that?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so. Oh, the story behind this is hilarious, by the way. Okay, so at some point on Facebook, I put that like. One of my hobbies or something like that was being a huge boner killer. Okay. So at some point, I think it was like last year, Facebook had this like thing pop up on my screen that said, Irina, would you like to make huge boner killer your business? And like wanted to know if I wanted to start a business page for being a huge boner killer. So
if anybody could.
so I was like, okay, yeah. And then like I made like a ha Facebook post about it to a bunch of my friends, and my friends were like, yes, clearly, fuck yes, please do this. So I did. And then I don't remember exactly the process of how this happened, but I had created a mime character for an act in a burlesque show called What the Fuck-lesque that takes place on at least a monthly basis in Reseda. Mm-hmm. And I'd created a mime character for that particular show. So I had already kind of started being in this mime character. Eventually, at some point, I changed the spelling of that Facebook business page from Huge Boner Killer to Huge Boner Killer. Mm-hmm. And then that became the name of my mime character.
Now, what does mime burlesque consist of? Now, what is...
Well, okay, so I... First of all, I personally, for this particular show, I didn't strip. I did an act with a hula hoop.
Okay.
That was just kind of like a mime in the mime character.
Yeah.
But there were stripping mimes in this show. So
I was going to say, walking in the wind, but your clothes fall off.
You just kind of have to like see it to understand it.
I guess so.
Excuse me.
Because you have several characters, not just...
Yes. But this one particular performer named Veronica Voss, she did a mime striptease. And I can't remember whether it was just like a straight-up striptease or a reverse striptease, but all of the clothing removal was mimed. So that was incredibly hilarious. There's, I have another friend, Melly Belly. She basically just stripped as a mime character.
I thought you were the only mime burlesque dancer. Now there's a whole slew of them.
No, somebody else in the show stripped out of a fully rhinestoned jumpsuit in the character of Ronald McDonald. And me and my partner were just sitting there laughing our asses off. Like, this is the most amazing thing we've ever seen. We just thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
So there is more to mime burlesque than you could ever imagine. I personally have not ever stripped as a mime. It may happen in the future, but that was
what's your wildest burlesque character then?
Okay, so I have not done that many burlesque acts. My focus has been more on immersive performance, but I would say that it's probably a tie. I did a burlesque act last year based around the concept of eating Tide Pods. So it was like the persona was somebody who, the first song in the act was "I'm gonna wash that man out of my hair," and I was like pulling these 1950s style curlers out of my hair, and then the second part of the song was. It was a song by the band Babyland, actually, who I'm a really huge fan of.
Right.
This industrial band. And, I reach into this thing with Tide Pods and I lick one and I start to get really excited and I start stripping and the act ends. This was in What the Fuck Lesque's one of their messy shows that they call Tarpapalooza.
Nice.
And basically the punchline of the act is like I dump all the Tide Pods on myself because I'm high from eating Tide Pods and then sploosh a bunch of water so I can get really clean.
Did you foam at the mouth and all that?
No, I don't actually eat the Tide Pods.
No, but I mean, did you?
And
I'm just trying to.
No, but that's a good suggestion for if I ever do this act again.
Well, let's go back because I've never seen you do burlesque. I've seen you dance.
Okay.
Okay. So and you started. I've seen you belly dance.
Yes.
But
that is what I do primarily. Yeah.
But you started when you were a kid. You were doing ballet.
Yeah, well, as a kid, I did, ballet, tap, jazz. I did a little bit of folk dancing when I was a kid. When I got a little bit older, like into high school, I started picking up some stuff like swing dance, and I did modern because there was a really good dance program at my high school, so I studied a little bit of modern dance too. So yeah, I'd been doing that pretty much my whole life, and then in the mid 2000s there was a really big trend happening of Middle Eastern dance that was getting popular.
Right. So
right after I finished college in the mid 2000s, I started doing that. And I also, it was also
now, is that belly dance or is that a different type of thing?
Okay, so the two terms are kind of used interchangeably a lot of the time.
I'm ignorant to this. I'm stupid. So please educate me and probably half our audience.
Yeah. Okay. So, more or less the preferred term or terms with that, are either Middle Eastern dance. Many dancers who perform that form also refer to it with the Arabic terminology, which is raqs sharqi, which basically translates roughly to dance of the East. Some other people who speak some other languages that encompass this dance form we'll sometimes call it Oriental dance or Oriental. Belly dance comes a lot from, to my understanding, a lot of the North American traditions of this dance. And at this point in time, there's a little bit of a connotation with the usage of that word that there's been a certain level of Orientalism that's reflected through the dance. So for people who don't know what that is, it's a certain level of exotifying or stereotyping of the Middle East and the regions who have this dance as part of their cultural vocabulary or social dance. It would be considered like, and it's a concept from the theorist Edward Said, basically. But Orientalism is basically the concept of exotifying people from that region in a certain way.
Okay.
So belly dance is considered to, by some people, have a little bit of a connotation of that, but most people who don't perform the art form still use that term a lot of the time. And again, it has a lot of associations with particularly how the tradition of that dance has evolved in North America.
Right. You follow this, Hannah? You're following all that?
It's kind of
Okay,
confusing, but
yeah.
basically there's multiple interchangeable terms to refer to the dance.
Right.
So we, as the dance performers of it, will often say Middle Eastern dance because that not only encompasses what I referred to earlier as ruksharki or belly dance, where we wear the sparkly costumes, and there's a particular type of movement vocabulary that also was very influenced by Hollywood aesthetic. Even when it was developed in the Middle East, it was influenced by Hollywood aesthetic. So Middle Eastern dance can encompass that, and it can also encompass when we put some more authentic folk dancing into a dance set, let's say, or if there's a theatrical show that might have folk references from dances actually from the Middle East into that. So it's all kind of mixed together when you use that term. So it's pretty much we use most of the terms interchangeably.
So how did you get interested in folk dancing or belly dancing or what, all of that? Middle Eastern dancing.
Yeah. So basically, like I said, when I finished college in the mid 2000s, there was a big general public trend of belly dance, of ruksharki, having popularity in the public eye because of belly dance superstars.
Right.
So so that was kind of another big time in the spotlight that belly dance was enjoying as a trend, kind of like how Zumba has for the past few years. It was also happening as a fitness trend too, that people were just doing for fun and stuff like that.
Would you ever consider yourself a superstar of the genre?
I'm not a belly dance superstar. If I was, I would.
I don't know.
I would be traveling the world and teaching workshops, all over the world. And stuff
was that
like
a goal for
so.
you at some point? You were going to be the next superstar.
I'm sure that I had a hope to get on that circuit, but that's it's sort of a separate discussion about how complicated the belly dance economy can be. Like I said, there are folks out there who travel internationally, and they're from all over the world. So the culturally native instructors, a lot of the instructors who are culturally from the MENA, Middle East, North Africa, and also Turkey and Greece, also performs versions of this dance. The performers who are from those areas, for a variety of reasons, sometimes they don't often get as many opportunities to perform in their own regions. So a lot of them travel internationally and teach internationally. And then there's also international performers from other countries who have excelled at this dance and are kind of they're also on the competition circuit.
Sure.
And so they've gained, a level of fame and fans and things like that just from kind of being on the competition circuit, and they start teaching internationally, and they might go that route. But, there's plenty of dancers out there of this form who just kind of stay pretty regional. I've traveled a little bit over North America to perform. I have not yet made it internationally. I definitely have, hopes about that, just to go study.
Now, is
that
a bias against Americans, or is that just?
What do you mean as far as
maybe if maybe because you're American and you're Caucasian, that maybe they wouldn't want you. I don't know.
That's actually not necessarily true.
I don't know.
The trend of kind of who gets international notoriety within this community as a global community has still been very much on kind of the body type in a lot of ways. Like the focus has been on people who are relatively fair skinned, usually have dark hair.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes, honestly, performers native to the culture don't always have as much recognition within this, and honestly, particularly in North America, but all over the world, there are wonderful dancers who are people of color who don't, who haven't gotten the recognition to the same level. Okay. So, yeah, the aesthetic.
I'm just curious because I don't know.
The aesthetic trend is actually, as far as who gets hired, is people who are pretty light skinned. So that's interesting. It can vary a little bit. Like I'm hearing from dancers who actually work in the Middle East, like it varies a little bit. Maybe folks who work in like towards Lebanon and Turkey, the people who get hired, they like you to have kind of like this spray tan look, but like in Egypt, they like the really fair skinned dancers. So, but yeah, it's you'd be surprised,
I'm sure.
or not.
No, well, the main education in belly dance was when you hooked me up to co-host the Gothla Belly Dance Festival a few years ago.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that.
Yes, which I always thought was Goth LA, but it's Gothla.
How was that?
It's a Goth Belly Dance Festival. It was great, but I had like all these jokes about how they needed a guy to belly dance, so I was going to belly dance. The best belly dancer, no offense, was a guy.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't know what the guy's name was, but he was great.
Yeah, we have a number of really incredible performers of all genders within the belly dance scene. It's worth mentioning too that the folks who are from the culture of origin who are male dancers, a lot of them have like left their countries or emigrated just because there's quite a lot of cultural stigma in a lot of cases against them performing publicly.
Right.
And luckily, many of them have gone on to have great international careers. Right now, I'm helping to work on hosting somebody who is originally from Iraq, who was in the Iraqi National Troupe, and he's an incredible dance performer. He performs the Iraqi style dance. He does Raqs Sharki. He learned all the folk dances because he was in the National Troupe, and he's a really amazing modern dancer, I believe, like modern contemporary style dancer. And he ended up emigrating to Sweden. But yeah, his name is Mohamed Hawaz, and he's an incredible performer. So there are a lot of incredible performers who are men and non-binary people now
and
in the dance form.
Yeah, the other thing about that too was I was dating a girl at the time, and she was like a born-again Christian, so she was kind of weirded out about the whole goth scene.
I'm weirded out that you dated a born-again Christian.
You know what? Let's high-five each other into the table for people of religious orientations that we've dated.
But she thought goth was satanic, so she thought like all goths were like Marilyn Manson. I'm like,
no.
Well, come with me to the belly dance festival. She's like, well, I like these goths, but whatever. It didn't. It didn't. We hit it off. It just the whole thing was like she was, we hit it off. She was great, but we just didn't. She couldn't get past the whole religious thing, and I didn't. I was like, whatever. My whole thing with religion has always been whatever works for you. If it works for you, fine.
You're pretty chill, though.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If it works for you, fine. And that's I've got friends that are with every religious denominations: born again Christians, Jews, Muslims, Satanists, pagans, whatever, agnostics, Buddhists, whatever. But whatever. It's so but she enjoyed it. She thought it was great. She actually did say that yoga was not satanic. So that was at least she got there. But she also was. I told her that Joel Osteen was playing the Rose Bowl. She's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I'm like, "Because he's a piece of shit and he's a phony." But okay.
Okay, now I'm picturing Joel Osteen like doing this like 80s like like guitar solo.
He played the Rose Bowl, and people came to see him, and
just wording it that way, like motivational speaker played
Right.
the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of him like
the same the same
heavy
place
metal
Depeche Mode played, and Rolling Stones just played, and Joel
Yeah.
Osteen plays. And I just said, whatever works for you. But I mean, when you got somebody that's just that phony, and you can't see through that. I don't know about that, but I just hit on the point with because I know Hannah gets fascinated anytime we have a dancer on for some reason.
Because I wish I could move my body like that. That's something that I cannot do. I have no rhythm.
You sure?
So, sure, positive.
Was he seen you in a mosh pit? You're fine.
That's a mosh pit, though.
Oh, okay.
It's
All right.
different.
All right. Well,
There's no grace to that.
now, is this something that can be taught? Can you teach dance, or do you actually have to have a little rhythm?
I think it is something that can be taught. I personally, even though I'm a professional performer, I have to attempt to practice every single day still.
Oh, sure.
Or pretty much every single day. But yeah, I mean, I think it's important to break it down also to like, do you know anything about music? Like, are you?
Oh, yeah.
See, if you're like experienced with understanding music, I think that's a great place to start. And